You wake up one morning with that pressure in your chest again. Not fear, not sadness, just that humming emptiness that makes everything feel thin, like your life is printed on cheap paper. You sit at the edge of your bed, and before your feet even touch the floor, you already know today will drain you. Not because something terrible will happen, but because nothing will. No spark, no fire, no reason. And that's the betrayal we start with. The betrayal nobody talks about. Because you were raised believing something simple. If you work hard, stay kind, stay loyal, stay steady, life will reward you. But here's what your nervous system learned the hard way. Reality doesn't reward consistency. It rewards leverage. And you were never taught leverage. You were taught patience, discipline, quiet suffering. Be the good man. Take the high road. Be understanding. And modern life, this whole social ecosystem used it against you. You gave loyalty. You got silence. You gave presence. You got taken for granted. You gave effort. You got treated like it was the bare minimum. Every expectation you were sold. Fragile. Every promise of fairness. A commercial. Every belief that being a stable man would make people value you. A lie wrapped in politeness. And here's the psychological truth most men never say out loud. You don't feel tired because you're weak. You feel tired because you were trained to invest in systems designed to drain you. You were taught to show love to people raised on validation. You were taught to chase meaning in a world where meaning is content. You were taught to build a future with people who can't even stay consistent with themselves. And so now you sit in that quiet, suffocating space where your body whispers, "This isn't what you were built for." Case study number 1. I've seen men grind for years, thinking loyalty would be reciprocated. And the moment they slow down, the people they carried walk away like it was nothing. Case study number 2. I've seen men hold families together, only to be discarded once they stopped being exciting. Case study number 3. I've seen men invest in relationships where the woman was emotionally somewhere else the entire time, scrolling, comparing, fantasizing, selecting, because the algorithm made her believe she could upgrade. This is the betrayal, my friend. Not that life is unfair, you already know that. It's the realization that your effort was never the currency. Attention is, novelty is, chaos is, drama is. And you were taught to be the calm one, the dependable one, the anchor. But anchors don't get celebrated. Anchors get used. And the world wonders why men are tired of existing. Here's what I need you to understand. Brother, that exhaustion you carry, that deep, silent fatigue that doesn't go away with sleep, isn't laziness, burnout, or any label society throws at men. It's biology. It's evolutionary psychology. It's the part of you that is millions of years older than every piece of modern advice you've ever been given. Because you are not tired of life. You are tired of a lifestyle your DNA never agreed to. Men were not designed to live in a world of constant comparison, endless choice, and dopamine on demand. We were built to hunt, to build, to protect, to struggle for something real. But your nervous system, your ancient programming, has been dragged into an environment where nothing is scarce, nothing is earned, nothing feels meaningful, and everything resets at midnight like a video game. Your biology is screaming because the world you live in doesn't match the world you were built for. And here's the hardest biological truth. Men need challenge to feel alive. Not comfort. Not validation. Not self-care. Challenge. Load. Purpose with weight. Women through evolution were protected to preserve life. Men through evolution were exposed to danger to advance life. Different biological imperatives. Different energy systems. Different psychological wiring. But society tells you the opposite. Be softer. Be more emotional. Be more available. Lower your boundaries. Meanwhile, every female instinct is still hardwired to react to strength, scarcity, ambition, hierarchy, emotional restraint, the exact traits men are punished for today. And this contradiction? This biological tug-of-war? It's draining you from the inside out. Case study number 1. I've seen men become anxious wrecks because they tried to open up more, thinking it would save a relationship. It didn't. It only removed the polarity. Case study number 2. I've seen men become invisible to women the moment they stopped pursuing goals and started pursuing emotional comfort instead. Case study number 3. I've seen men lose their sense of self because the modern environment rewards passive men only when they re-useful, never when they re-masculine. Your biology isn't malfunctioning. It's resisting the environment. It's trying to pull you back toward what makes men men. And until you understand that, my friend, you'll keep blaming yourself for a fatigue that isn't your fault. Here's where everything snaps into focus, brother. Now we move from biology to brain mechanics. Because what you're feeling isn't spiritual, philosophical, or emotional immaturity. It's neurological architecture reacting to the wrong environment. Let me break the mechanism down with clinical clarity. 1. The dopamine collapse. Your brain was built for sporadic dopamine, earned through effort. Hunting, achieving, creating, overcoming danger. But today, dopamine is cheap, constant, and meaningless. Scroll, click, swipe, repeat. Your brain's reward system gets detonated so frequently that nothing feels rewarding anymore. This is called dopamine desensitization, and it leads to emotional numbness, chronic fatigue, loss of drive, background anxiety, and difficulty bonding with real people. You're not broken. Your reward circuitry has been overstimulated into apathy. 2. The threat loop. Your ancestors only felt anxiety in two situations: real danger and social rejection, both life or death contexts. Now, your nervous system receives simulated danger nonstop. Notifications, comparison, online humiliation, the threat of being ignored, and the fear of not being enough. Your brain can't distinguish real threats from digital ones. So you stay locked in fight or freeze mode, draining your energy like a battery running background apps. 3. The attachment short circuit. And here's the part nobody wants to admit: your brain is wired to pursue real women, not 4K illusions, filters, and endless availability. Neural bonding pathways, oxytocin, vasopressin, limbic resonance. They can't form correctly when every connection is digital, indirect, replicable, or transactional. This creates a psychological mechanism I call the false intimacy effect. Your brain believes it's connecting, but your biology knows it's not. And the tension between the two makes you feel empty. 4. The male purpose circuit. Men derive energy from linear progress. Step to reward, effort to result. But modern life destroys that mechanism. Everything is fragmented. Everything is shallow. Nothing has real weight. So the brain stops releasing achievement dopamine and starts releasing anticipation anxiety instead. That's why you feel tired before you even start. Your brain has learned that effort doesn't matter anymore. This is the mechanism, my friend. Not weakness. Not failure. Not mental health problems. Your brain is trying to survive a world it was never designed for. Here's where the truth gets uncomfortable, brother. Because the people who are tired of existing don't notice it happening. They don't call it burnout. They don't call it depression. They don't call it anxiety. They just slowly lose their fire, their will, and eventually, their identity. I'm going to give you the exact warning signs, the ones I've seen in men who eventually hit psychological collapse. The ones society ignores. The ones therapy culture sugarcoats. 1. You wake up with nitrogen monoxide, WH, not sadness, not pain, just emptiness, a quiet dread, a heaviness in the chest that says, another day I have to survive. This is the first sign the brain has lost purpose signaling. 2. Microsocial withdrawal. Men don't disappear all at once, they vanish in micro steps. Fewer messages, slower replies, canceled plans, avoiding calls and ghosting to recharge, but never actually recharging. You don't hate people. You just lack the energy required to pretend you're okay. 3. The dirty room phenomenon. I've seen this hundreds of times. When a man's internal order collapses, his environment follows. Clothes pile up. Dishes stay untouched. Trash accumulates. The bed stays unmade. It is not laziness, it is a neurological signal. There is no future worth preparing for. 4. Emotional flatlining. Not crying, not raging, just nothing. A neutral, muted baseline where everything feels grayscale. Nothing excites you, nothing scares you, nothing moves you. This is reward desensitization at work. 5. Coupled anxiety plus nitrogen monoxide motivation. This combination is the biggest red flag because ordinarily anxiety fuels action. But when the nervous system is fried, you get panic without movement, pressure without direction, and urgency without energy. It's the psychological equivalent of hitting the gas and brake at the same time. 6. Seeking comfort that doesn't comfort. You turn to food, scrolling, late-night dopamine, distractions, fantasies, background noise, and none of it helps. You feel worse afterwards because your brain can no longer interpret comfort as safety. 7. The future shrinks. A healthy mind imagines years ahead. A tired mind imagines minutes. A collapsing mind imagines nothing. When you can't picture yourself in the future, your brain is signaling system overload. These aren't personality quirks. These are neurological warning shots. They're telling you something primal. You are carrying too much, and you're doing it alone. What I'm about to tell you is the part nobody wants to admit out loud. Because people who are tired of existing aren't born this way, they are engineered. Engineered by a society that rewards exhaustion, romanticizes burnout, and calls slow suicide hustle culture, empowerment, or self-improvement. Let's break down the conspiracy layer by layer. 1. Therapy culture lied to you. Modern therapy culture preaches, honor your feelings. validate your emotions. Take breaks. You're enough. But here's the truth nobody says. Men who are tired of existing don't need validation. They need direction. They need structure. They need a mission. Validation without guidance? That's just emotional sedation. It keeps you alive but not living. 2. Empowerment became a drug. Everyone online talks about empowerment. Yet everyone is also more anxious, more numb, more isolated. Empowerment has become a dopamine product. Short videos, quick fixes, microdoses of inspiration with zero discipline. It convinces you you're re-leveling up when you're actually just consuming motivational sugar while your life falls apart in the background. 3. Social media is a nervous system weapon. Scroll long enough and you'll see two things. People who look happier than you and people who look more broken than you. Both are poison. One breeds envy. The other breeds apathy. And the algorithm knows exactly which one your brain is addicted to. It's engineered to keep you half miserable, half stimulated, and fully dependent. 4. Female social circles fuel male exhaustion. This is the part they'll cancel us for, my friend. But it's true. I've watched it for years. Women have social networks built to vent, offload, and emotionally discharge. Men don't. Men are expected to absorb pressure like stone. So men collapse silently while women redistribute the weight through friends. It's not fair or unfair. It's biological economics, and every man who ignores this becomes a casualty of emotional overload. 5. The age gap of despair. Women peak socially early, supported, chosen, validated. Men peak later, but must survive the desert years alone. By the time men hit their prime, they're already tired, and society calls that normal. Brother, it's not normal. It's the system working exactly as designed. Here's the moment nobody talks about. Not the slow decline. Not the "I'm fine." Not the months of silent drowning. I'm talking about the collapse, the exact point where a man who's tired of existing finally breaks. And it always looks the same. The first detonation is emotional shutdown. It starts when your brain enters survival mode. The neurological pathways responsible for hope, future vision, and long-term planning, they go dark, literally. Your brain stops caring about things it once obsessed over. Not because you're lazy, but because your mind is redirecting all energy towards psychological triage. You stop dreaming. You stop imagining a future. You stop wanting anything at all. This is the first explosion. Silent but fatal. The second detonation is where relationship collapse. When a man is exhausted at the existential level, every connection begins to decay. He becomes distant, irritable, withdrawn, emotionally unavailable in a way he can't even explain. And here is the tragedy. Most women interpret his silence as rejection, not the desperate cry for oxygen it truly is. I've seen this dozens of times. A man drowning quietly while the world thinks he's choosing isolation. He's not choosing anything. His brain simply has no bandwidth left. The third detonation is identity disintegration. This is the collapse the world never sees. The moment a man looks in the mirror and feels like he's staring at a stranger. He doesn't recognize what he became. He doesn't know what he wants. He feels like a ghost wearing his own face. That's when the internal war hits full force. Ancient programming screaming for purpose. Modern corruption pulling him into apathy. And the man trapped in the middle, too tired to fight either side. The final detonation is complete numbness. Brother, numbness isn't the absence of emotion. It's the exhaustion of it. It's when your nervous system has taken so many hits that it stops sending signals altogether. No joy, no rage, no fear, just a quiet, bitter acceptance. This is the collapse. Not dramatic, not loud, just the slow erasure of the man you used to be. What I'm about to tell you is the part most men spend their whole lives avoiding. Because the bitter truth isn't poetic. It isn't inspirational. It isn't something you put into a quote and post on Instagram. It's brutal, cold, clinically honest. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The world doesn't care that you're tired. Not because people are evil, but because most of them are fighting their own invisible battles. Every man eventually discovers this. Your exhaustion doesn't stop bills, doesn't stop expectations, doesn't stop time from dragging you forward. You can be dying inside, and the world will hand you a to-do list. This isn't cruelty, it's indifference. And indifference is far more devastating. You were never taught how to rest. Most men were raised on a psychological mechanism of constant output. Be productive, be reliable, be strong, be useful. You weren't taught recovery. You were taught endurance. And the problem with endurance is simple, it always runs out. Your brain is wired with a biological imperative for effort and restoration. But society only rewards the first half. So you learn to sprint through life using ancient programming meant for survival, not for decades of emotional compression. You confuse numbness with strength. Every man does this at some point. You think shutting down your emotions makes you tougher. You think silence is discipline. You think isolation is control. But numbness is not strength. Numbness is the final symptom of a battle you've been losing quietly. It's the psychological version of internal bleeding. Invisible, painless, until it's almost too late. Your pain is real and your story isn't over. Here's the truth nobody tells tired men. Feeling done with life doesn't mean your life is done with you. Your brain isn't failing, it's signaling. Your exhaustion isn't weakness, it's data. Your collapse isn't an ending, it is a point of redirection your nervous system has been begging for. And you're not broken, you're overloaded. There's a difference. The bitter truth is painful, but it's not hopeless. Here's where every other voice on the internet lies to you. They'll tell you to think positive, or love yourself, or manifest peace. But a man who is tired of existing doesn't need poetry. He needs a system, a framework, a way out that actually respects the biology, psychology, and ancient wiring he's been forced to survive with. This isn't therapy talk. This is survival protocol. Step 1. Reclaim your nervous system. You can't fix your life while your internal engine is in emergency mode. Your dopamine pathways have been hijacked by overstimulation, loneliness, forced responsibility, and a lifetime of pretending you're fine. So the first move isn't motivation, it's stabilization. That means short, predictable routines, consistency over intensity, 1 victory per day, not 10. Removing artificial dopamine spikes and rebuilding sleep like it's sacred. This resets the ancient programming that's been detonating inside you. Step 2. Control your inputs. Your exhaustion isn't just internal, it's environmental. Modern society is engineered for mental collapse. Noise, chaos, opinions, comparison, empowerment narratives that tell everyone they're a victim except you. You must build a perimeter. That means eliminating toxic friends, doom scrolling, gossip culture, feminized social spaces that shame male struggle, and empowerment dealers who feed your panic instead of your clarity. This is how you take back cognitive territory. Step 3. Become a man of output, not overload. High-value men don't do more. They do fewer things with lethal precision. Your goal isn't to fix everything. Your goal is to build a life that doesn't drain you just for existing. That requires a mission you choose, boundaries that protect energy, structure instead of chaos, and identity built on competence, not exhaustion, brother. This is how men come back from the edge, not by escaping life, but by rebuilding it in a way their nervous system can actually survive. Brother, if this hit you, watch the next video on your screen. It continues everything we uncovered here, and it might be the one that finally flips the switch you've been waiting for.